Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Swimming in the Stream. I'm here with Marcy,
Greetings.
and we have HBO Max news. The first article that I have here is Zack Snyder's Justice League might get a rated R theatrical release. Now, in this article, they get some quotes from Zack Snyder, basically saying that they haven't gotten a rating back yet from the MPAA, but he thinks that the movie is going to be rated R. Now, this is Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League, and it is going to be around like 4 hours long or something like that. And the reason he says it's probably going to get an R rating is because Batman drops like a F bomb. Cyborg is pretty much depressed before he meets the Justice League. It seems like, and Steppenwolf is basically chopping people in half. He says, and it's very violent. Um, but what do you think of all of this, Marcy?
I kind of expect for the Justice League to be violent, but not like killing people or anything.
Yeah, because if we look at who set the precedent of pretty much superhero movies, Marvel, all of their movies have been PG-13. They've never gone over to the R rating. The only ones that done that is Fox with like Deadpool.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think if in the Avengers, do they ever kill someone?
People die, but they don't really like show them. They like show them like cut away type stuff. So
Yeah,
it's implied that they died, but they don't show it on screen type thing. You know.
yeah.
But this one, it seems like Zack Snyder is straight up showing people getting cut
It's
in half.
gory.
Yeah, it's gonna be gory. And I guess I mean this is Zack Snyder's take on it, and he's always been a little bit darker, even though I don't agree with some of his choices he's made. Hopefully this is good. Batman is getting a F. He's gonna drop a F bomb. He's probably gonna like see something outrageous happen and drop a F bomb probably
Uh
because
huh.
he's still a human.
Yeah.
He's still only a human being, and he's fighting aliens. Cyborg being depressed is probably gonna be yeah. Cyborg being repressed is gonna probably be
He's gonna be
um
a drunkard.
no, he's still a teenager. Um, uh, Wait, is he a teen? He's either a teenager
Popping
or he's in
pills.
college. No, he's either a teenager or either in college.
Well,
But
even when
basically,
you're
his
in
body,
college, if you go straight out of high school into college, you're still a teenager. So,
yeah, but his body gets destroyed and replaced with basically alien technology.
yes, I
So
know.
he also says in a quote that Star Cyborg is going to be speaking his mind.
Ooh, I like that.
They're also going to see if they can try to bring out the movie on HBO Max and in theaters at the around the same time. So I wonder how that's going to work, especially if this is going to be like a 4 hour movie.
Mhm.
Would you sit in the movie theater and watch a 4 hour movie?
I feel like I've done that already.
Well,
I mean, like,
I don't. So you sat in a movie theater to watch a 4 hour movie before?
okay, no, 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 I haven't done that. But I know that, like, I've been at home or in my dorm room watching a Bollywood movie for 4 hours.
True, but this is going to be in a movie theater, and
I mean,
you
like,
know,
well, sometimes you go to the movie theater and you watch more than one movie.
yeah, but there's no breaks in this movie. It's not going to be like a play where there's going to be intermission. No, this is a movie.
Mm,
Where if you go up to get some food or some drinks
you
or go
might
to the
miss
bathroom, you will
something,
be
yeah.
yeah, you will be missing some stuff.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Personally, I won't be going to the movies to probably watch this. I will watch it on HBO Max because I think he also said that it's going to come out in like 4 parts or something like that. So maybe they release like a one
Ooh.
hour part and then next week the next hour and you can watch it in movie theaters at the same time. I guess that would be cool. Sure.
But then you have to pay multiple times to go see the parts.
True.
Well, I mean,
Uh
it okay, I say that in a negative way, but also thinking about what that movie theaters are not getting a lot of business right now.
mhm.
So, it's probably like a good way to sort of still support theaters
I think so.
even if you don't really want to go back to the movie theaters 4 separate times to watch the same movie, but a progression of the same movie.
Yeah, it's gonna be a whole journey to get to the ending of Justice League since this is gonna be like it's like at this point it's more like a mini series instead of a movie, but whatever. Um, but yeah, I think this is going to be very interesting. That this is going to be a rated R Justice League, and it seems like Warner Brothers is just okay with it. I don't. They haven't. He didn't say anything in here where Warner Brothers is going to be like, "Hey, can we tone this down to make it more PG-13?" It looks like they're going all in, and he can do whatever he want basically. It's going to be very interesting because I think I've seen somewhere else that they said that he's trying to blow Josh Whedon's theatrical cut of Justice League out of the water with this
Uh-huh.
movie. But I don't think it's really comparable, this Justice League, especially since it's rated R and it's 4 hours compared to the Justice League that came out in the movies. That's only like what, an hour and 30 minutes or something like that, I think. But do you
Well,
even
yeah,
think
yeah,
that's
I think it's only an
comparable?
hour and 30 minutes.
Something like that. Do you think it's even comparable though, like the movies?
Hmm. No, I really don't.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. It's not really comparable. But yeah, this is come out in 2021. Be prepared.
But
So
I
go ahead.
definitely think that this is going to be very interesting and possibly shape the way that we view movies.
Oh, so you think that maybe if this is successful,
It'll be a
that
turning point in movie
yeah,
history. Like when what was it? Was it Twilight or was it Harry Potter where like the last movie was split up into two parts?
Harry Potter started that. I think
Harry Potter started it, not Twilight, because I know Twilight did it too.
what I remember, I think Harry Potter started it. I might be wrong, but I remember Harry Potter doing it because Harry Potter also split the books into two. So I believe,
Uh,
yeah. Um, but yeah, so I can see what you're saying that this could be a turning point for like Warner Brothers and other big movie studios if they see that this works and is successful on HBO Max and I guess technically in movie theaters as well. Um, that they could be like, hey, especially can you think of like a Marvel movie if they did this? Like, hey, instead of making just a an hour and 30-minute movie, we're gonna make this movie basically like a TV show kind of, but like each part is an hour long and it takes place in 4 episodes, and we're gonna release it in theaters and on Disney Plus at the same time. I think that would be
mm,
pretty dope. And it like could be like this big event thing.
yeah.
Because could you imagine like if Infinity War, instead of having Infinity War and Endgame be split up into 2 parts, if they just like combine them and release them in like TV show type parts, but they were like an hour long each, I think that'd be pretty dope.
An hour long each. I don't know. I kind of just feel like it. An hour is so short.
Well, I'm saying they're still doing the same storyline, but each episode or each movie, technically, I guess, in this, I don't even know
Segment.
how to classify. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I guess this segment in the movie basically is an hour long, but you're still getting all of them back to back pretty much from week to
Yeah.
week. And I was like,
I
no,
don't know. It
because
kind
it's
of reminds me
basically,
of The Mandalorian.
but the Mandalorian is not an hour long each.
I
They're like
know.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
They're too
The
short
times
in my
vary.
opinion. Yeah, they vary on times. They're too
And I'm
short, and
always
then
like, by the end of the episode, I'm like, no, that was it? I have to wait a
exactly now.
whole nother week?
Exactly. I wish they would have done more of the Game of Thrones type, give you hour long episodes, even though Game of Thrones also varied, but still, I wish they could just stick to an hour long and like, hey, we're just going to cut it after an hour long and then we'll add the extra stuff into the next stuff. But
Yeah.
whatever.
But I'm sure
Um,
that it's difficult to, like, I mean, I guess that that's, like, the way that they sort of split it up to have
yeah.
enough footage for an entire
Yeah.
season.
Probably. Um, but yeah, I think this movie is going to be very interesting. And like you said, it could be a turning point for like movie studios. If this works, they're just going to make like their movies much longer and like split it up into parts, but have like a 4 hour film basically, but split up into parts. This could be a thing. I could see maybe Netflix or somebody else doing this. Hmm, that's a very interesting. Um, but
Thought,
yeah,
yeah.
any last thoughts on this possible rated R
I
Justice League
I
film?
wanna say that they probably could have avoided the rated R thing, like how Avengers is still violent, still deals with some adult, social situations.
Hmm.
That, but they're still PG-13.
Yeah. Hmm.
When you
I
make
think
a
he.
movie rated R, it I think it's limiting. Like, don't get me
Oh,
wrong, like,
yeah.
you can do a lot with it. You can do whatever you want with it, like in Deadpool, but it limits your audience.
You are absolutely correct. It does limit your audience. That's why studios make like certain movies have to be PG-13 to reach a bigger audience. Rated R doesn't get as much people as PG-13, basically.
Because I mean, like, of course, there are some parents that are like, I don't care if the movie's rated R. I'm still gonna let little Timmy watch it. But
Hmm.
there are some parents that are like, oh, it's rated R. Yeah, no. It just it being rated R. They don't even look at like what's going kind of content that's going to be in it. It's just, well, it's labeled this and that's a no cuz rated
Yep.
R is not for kids. When
Yep.
it's at least PG-13, they look at the content that's going to be in it and then they're like can sort of discern whether they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah. They can watch it."
Yep. You are absolutely correct. I agree with you on everything you just said. But we'll see if this is successful. This is a big experiment, in my opinion, on the part of Warner Brothers. They're literally going back and redoing a film that they already released to make a possible rated R version. That's crazy, in my opinion.
I
But
wonder what they're going
isn't
to do with it.
well,
Because like if
shoot.
it's gonna be rated R, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, well, this is like I said, this is Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League, and it said because they released an image, they released some images, I think, and like one of the images were like Steppenwolf. He looks completely different than he did in the movie. He looks like a actual alien, like a monster alien, and not like a human alien. That
Mhm.
thing. So they completely changed the look of Steppenwolf, and I think they're gonna have uh they're gonna have a bunch more scenes with the whole Justice League together and stuff like that. And I'm guessing the fights are gonna be much bigger and more violent than they were in the movie. So it's gonna be a crazy thing to watch. I'm looking forward to it because like I support the Zack Snyder cut. Um, but if it fails, I wouldn't be surprised because Zack Snyder doesn't make the best stories, but he makes very cool visuals, in my opinion.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say on Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League. It's going to be an interesting experiment to watch. I'm looking forward to it, and we'll see if it really is possible that it needs a rated R rating. So we'll see. All right, but that is it for this article. I do have another one here. Just some quick news on Mortal Kombat is going to debut on HBO Max and in theaters on the same day on April 16th, 2021. We don't know much about this movie yet, but it's coming quick. And this is the first Mortal Kombat movie to be out since 1997 was the last Mortal Kombat movie, I believe. I think it says here. Are you looking forward to this Mortal Kombat movie?
Honestly, not really. The past couple of video game to movies, like adaptations, haven't been that great. Like, I think the only one I really liked that I did go to the theater to see was World of Warcraft.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh,
I
you didn't
still
like that one?
I liked it, but I still felt like it was really short. But that's because it was.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it was the average length of a movie, but just because of like all the lore that goes into the World of Warcraft, it felt like it just scratched the surface.
Oh, definitely. So, also on the comment with War of Warcraft, whatever. Um, I also watched the movie and I was just confused the whole time watching that movie. I thought the movie was cool. I was just confused because there's so
Oh my
much
gosh, the
lore.
visuals,
Oh, it was so good. It
the
was good.
visuals, the lore, like oh my goodness, they use CGI for that, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was. Oh my gosh, I loved it. I was eating it up.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful movie, but I just it needs to. they needed to go back and try to work it to be a little bit more digestible to the normal audience member. Because
My inner warlord was quite happy.
yeah, because I didn't understand anything about that. But to me, Mortal Kombat coming out, I'm excited since the last one was 1997. I'm interested to see what they do. I think the last video game to movie adaptation I watched was Detective Pikachu, and I thought that was pretty good. I was like, this is not bad. This is digestible to a normal audience member.
I have to go back and watch that because I fell asleep halfway through the movie.
Oh,
But
that was boring.
I know the ending and I'm like, that's predictable.
Oh yeah, I mean the movie didn't do anything groundbreaking. It was just really cool to see the Pokemon interact with the
Oh yeah,
people
no,
in
I
this like
loved that.
CGI way, and
Cuz like
then
we would talk about we've talked about before like what if Pokemon were in real life and sort of like how would that work? There would be a lot
mhm,
of people that would die probably.
yeah, and they kind of hinted to that in the movie, especially like the opening scene with him and the Cubone and
Yeah,
him getting blasted away. I was like, yeah, you see, Pokemon, even if they're small, their attacks are pretty powerful to an average person.
yes. Well, that's because humans
Um,
are weak.
Yeah, but I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was a really good adaptation. I think we're getting closer and closer to really good adaptations. And I'm hoping Mortal Kombat that comes out April 16th is going to be a really good one. This one is definitely going to be rated R. There's no if this comes out to be PG-13, I'm like, really? Uh, the video game is like straight up rated R.
Yeah.
So how are you going to make a PG-13 Mortal
The
Kombat
video
movie?
game alone is like super gory.
Exactly. Now I guess I can see them making it PG-13 to get to that wider audience, like we said in the previous article. But I think Mortal Kombat just needs to be rated R. They need to take the gamble and just make a good rated R Mortal Kombat movie. You know,
Mhm.
and
I mean,
to
I believe I did watch a animated Mortal Kombat movie, not
oh
too
yeah,
long ago.
the Scorpion movie came out
That
and it was
was
rated
so
R.
good.
It was amazing. That was so good.
Like, we need more animated movies.
Oh well, speaking of like animated movies, in terms of like rated R, Warner Brothers Animation is probably doing the best rated R animated
Oh,
movies
yeah.
right now because I don't even know who else is doing those, but Warner Brothers is killing it. They came out with the Scorpion movie for Mortal Kombat. They came out with Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. That was rated R and was amazing. And then I think they just came out or a few months ago with oh, I forgot his name. Deathstroke. Yeah, Deathstroke movie that's rated R that people say are really good. So I haven't watched the last one yet, but I'm going to. But yeah, Mortal Kombat's coming out April 16th. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, we'll get some type of rating on it sooner or later to see and try to gauge how gory or non-gory the movie's going to be.
Mhm.
But it will drop on HBO Max and in movie theaters at the same time. So hopefully it's a good movie. So yeah. But that
You just
ends this
reminded me
article.
that I still need to watch The Killing Joke on Netflix.
I'm not watching a movie. I heard that movie was trash. I'll just read the comic book and be
Oh, I
happy.
heard that that movie was good. I don't know, I'll
I
probably
heard it
just
was
end up
trash.
watching it anyway and see, what my opinion is.
Yeah. Well, you haven't like read the source material either, so you know
Yeah.
you don't really have anything to compare it to. But we'll go ahead and go on to the next article. And it is Christopher Nolan is not happy with Warner Brothers after the news dropped that HBO Max will have the movies day and date that Warner Brothers would be releasing in theaters. So in the article, he goes on and says they got some quotes from him. That basically that Warner Brothers have some of the biggest filmmakers and movie stars working for them, and they went to sleep thinking that they were working for the greatest movie theater studio, but now they have pretty much woken up the day after the news. And he says that now they are working for the worst streaming service. So Christopher Nolan is being very critical of Warner Brothers because Warner Brothers held all this information very close to the chest and did not leak any information until they just came
After
out
they
and
were
said it.
done
Yeah,
filming.
after no, well, they didn't leak any information about what their plans were for these movies going into 2021. They didn't tell any of their partners. They didn't tell
Yeah,
any of the movie stars. They didn't
the
tell any of the
directors.
directors. Yeah, they told nobody.
And I'm sure that they didn't tell anyone because that they would get a lot of backlash for it.
Oh, yep. And what do we say in the other article that we did on when they were releasing this? That they might get blowback from directors, and
Mhm.
Christopher Nolan is already doing it. Yep.
Yep. I mean, I agree, um, with, the actors and the directors and whatnot, the people that worked very hard on these movies that expected for them to be seen in a theater kind of setting.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's to be expected that they're upset. Like, I'm even slightly upset, for them, with them, because if I was in that situation, I would feel sort of backstabbed
Yeah,
or
especially if they didn't say anything.
deceived. I would feel deceived.
Yeah. Because even what you just said there, Nolan pretty much kind of notates that. And he says in his quote, um, they deserve to be consulted and spoken to about what was going to happen to their work. Because, like I said before, Warner Brothers said nothing to anybody, and Nolan is basically like, y'all are not making, y'all are like burning bridges type of thing because y'all are not considering how other people that worked on this movie feel. But this is basically a business move from Warner Brothers to get more people into HBO Max. It's a tough place to be. I'm not gonna lie because there is something to say that maybe Warner Brothers is like, hey, we're looking out for the people, so we're just gonna release the movies in on our streaming service and in the movies at the same time, so you have the choice. And then if anybody comes out and says anything, they're like, "Hey, we're trying to protect the people." And the directors and stuff are going to be like, "Hey, you didn't tell us about this. Um, you're basically putting our movies out there, and we're not going to get as much money from them and stuff like that." It's a tough argument, I
Yeah.
think. He also says that the movies are now being used as a loss leader for the streaming service for the fledgling streaming service. So yeah, he's basically saying that they're using it to boost HBO Max pretty much. And like I said before, it's a pretty hard place to be with that whole argument because you can argue both ways, but it seems like directors and possibly some stars may come out later on in the year or later on in December and then maybe sometime in 2021 that they just disagree with this move. But we'll see how this works out because it could totally fail. It could be just something
Blow up in their
terrible.
faces.
Yeah, it could just blow up in their faces. Um, but we will see. And I think there is also something that some movie theaters or something is trying to sue Warner Brothers for this move because they're basically saying that they're not going to get as much money as they would if Warner Brothers just released it in movie theaters first and then put it on a streaming service. We'll see what happens with that as well. I think I'll try to go find the article. Maybe we can talk about that. But yeah, that's I knew this was going to happen. Yeah, I get. Yeah, we knew this was going to happen, and it seems like it's coming to fruition. Unfortunately.
Mhm.
We'll just have to check up to see how it's going down later in the year because it could be also a thing that people start walking off of actual projects for Warner Brother in a boycott type thing as well. That could be a thing,
Meet me in the
you know?
courtroom is going
Exactly.
down.
Yeah. So I wonder if this would could have long term effects for Warner Brothers in terms of like relationships. Like, hey, bro, I'm just not going to work on your film anymore because you did this move here, and it could be a thing. We'll see
Yeah.
what happens.
Like,
Yeah.
I would totally expect that. There's distrust now. They
Yeah.
withheld
Well,
information.
true. Well, if you go off of what Christopher Nolan is saying, then yes, there is tons of distrust because Warner Brothers didn't say anything to anybody. But some people just might not feel like what Christopher Nolan is saying here. Some movie directors or actors or actresses or whatever might be like, it's fine. Just get the movie out now. We're in a pandemic time. It's not such a big deal type thing. Some people might feel like that. Christopher Nolan has been a very big advocate of bringing movies to the movie theaters and not putting them on streaming services like Netflix and stuff like that. So he's already had this long running stance on the whole streaming service thing. So this is just in line with what he said before. Some filmmakers and stuff might not feel the same way. We'll just have to see down the line where some people stand and what's going to happen, basically. But yeah, did you have any other words about Nolan pretty much uh, bad mouthing Warner Brothers after this move?
No, not really.
Yeah.
I think I've said all I have to say.
Okay.
We just have to see what happens now.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to watch what happens because Nolan is a big influence. So maybe some people follow his example and they're like, no, you know what? He's right. I don't want it on there, so I'm gonna take you to court or something like that. Types of thing.
Mhm.
Uh, so we'll see what happens. Because well, okay. For one more thing, so the only other thing that this kind of affects is people that directors and like actors and stuff. So when the movie gets like a certain amount of money at the box office, the people that worked on the film, I believe, get like some type of bonuses. I believe if they make
Mhm.
a certain amount of money on it. So the actors get like a certain bonus, or the filmmakers get a certain bonus if the movie hits this milestone. I believe I might be wrong.
Mhm.
And people are saying, or insiders or whatever, they're saying that it's possible that if Warner Brothers is doing this, but when they decided to do this, they're basically saying that we're not going to pay anybody bonuses because the movies are not going to make as much money,
Mhm.
as they would have. So, that automatically will probably upset filmmakers and actors and actresses that are not going to get their, bonus check
Yeah.
on the movie because they're basically not going to make as much. So I see where that, if that's true, then I see where they're coming from with that whole argument. But like I said, the Warner Brothers said this is only for 2021. It might not even last all of 2021 if people make a big enough fuss about it. We'll just have to wait and see. Um, but I did find this very interesting that people are already coming out and trying to get back at Warner Brothers for doing this. And Warner Brothers, what I've seen and heard so far, they're keeping very firm to that they're going to do this move, starting with Wonder Woman. So we'll see.
Mm.
We'll see.
Yeah.
It's a battle. All right, but that ends all of our HBO Max news. Thank you, Marcy, for coming out.
No problem.
And thank all of you out there for watching and listening to Swimming in the Stream. And y'all have a beautiful day. Thank you, everyone, for listening to Swimming in the Stream. And if you want to get into contact with us or leave us feedback, you can reach us on Twitter at SitsPodcast and Gmail at swimminginthestream@gmail.com. You can now find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you can leave us a review, please do. It would help us out. You can now support us on Patreon at Sits Podcast.